If you remember from last season, I made a video talking about Tank Zyra, which focused around the mythic item Radiant Virtue. As the new season introduced some item changes, today I have, I guess, what you would call a Season 14 update. Here is why you should be playing Tank Zyra in Season 14. Let's start off with some disclaimers. The standard build of Liandry's and Rylai's is completely viable. That build provides ample amounts of damage and a surprising amount of tankiness thanks to the HP Liandry's now gives. The aim of this video is to provide an alternative build with different strengths and weaknesses for the current game situation. Additionally, this build is inspired by Velkoz's build popular streamer Azzap has built. Link to his YouTube and Twitch will be down below. So then, why should you play Tank Zyra? League of Legends is no stranger to the concept of power creep, where over times, items and champions slowly become stronger and stronger. This has led to the current one-shot meta, where you either one-shot or get one-shot. Although Zyra has the ability to do high amounts of burst and sustained damage, she still suffers from the fact that she is an immobile mage. This makes her very easy pickings for any assassins, such as Katarina or Yone. Yone is an assassin? I don't care what you think. Building tankier allows her and her allies to survive burst, turning battles over in an instant. Enemies will be baited in, expecting to be able to blow you up, only to realise their full combo didn't kill you, and then they die in return. And if you don't trust me on this, you can look at my ranked games. I've tried this build in my solo queue games, and I've found great success. But what exactly allows her to build like this? Well, for starters, she has a lot of innate utility. She has a 60% slow, a 2-second multi-target route, and a lane-wide airborne. There aren't many other champions who can offer that much CC in their base kits alone. Additionally, Zyra has the lower end of AP scalings, which is compensated by a higher base damage. This means that she doesn't benefit from raw AP as much as other champions such as Veigar does, but is instead allowed to flex into tankier items, which she still has good damage even without AP. Something else to consider is that tank support items are also generally cheaper than AP mage items, meaning she spikes faster, which is valuable for supports who naturally have lower incomes. Now that we've had a brief explanation of why, let's dive into how to build. For items, you want to rush into Imperial Mandate and lock up the Iron Solari as a 2-item core. I am aware that Mandate is not a tank item, but it is cheap, has a good build path, provides mana regen, gives damage early, which is when a mage support needs it most, and also has a very strong passive which is easily procced. Locket is similar in that it is cheap, gives good stats, and has a very strong active. For your support quest, I would invest into Solstice Slay. There is a synergy between Slay and Mandate, where slowing an enemy will mark them and then grant an ally bonus movement speed, so then it becomes easier for them to activate the mark. For boots, I would suggest either Defensives or Lucidity, depending on the enemy team comp and preference. You can then flex into a wide range of items. Some that I can recommend include Frozen Hearts against heavy AD, Kaenic Rukun against heavy AP, or Rylai's for more utility. You can also look into Waterstone, which now provides plenty of resistances and gives good vision control. Now let's talk about runes. If you remember from last season, I recommended Guardian, but I'm going to recommend something a bit different here. I am now suggesting a Dark Harvest page with Taste of Blood, Ghost Pyro and Genius Hunter, with Futures Market and Cosmic Insight in secondaries, and Ability Haste with double health scalings and minor shards. The reason I chose this page are for two specific runes, Ingenious Hunter and Cosmic Insight. If you looked at the build suggestion, you will notice that many of the items have cooldowns which can be lowered by item haste. Locket, for example, gets lowered down to 50 seconds from 90. So there is already a massive synergy between your rune page and your build. And also remember that your red trinket cooldown is also lowered by item haste. And I chose Dark Harvester over Predator or Electrocute because it's the best scaling rune and will generally be more useful than the other two as the game progresses. But, as the player, you can experiment with the other two to see what best fits into your playstyle. For the ability order, I would recommend an EWQ max. This maximizes your utility, especially if you aren't running Rylai's early. There are many benefits to this build, however there are some clear downfalls that you also should consider. Let's start with the pros. Items are much cheaper, so you spike earlier compared to a typical build. A free item core of Mandate, Locket and Frozen Heart costs 6,900 gold, compared to a Liandry's, Rylai's and Crypt Bloom costing 8,450 gold. You can surprise and tilt the enemy when they realise they can't kill you in one spell rotation, and you are just generally speaking a better team fighter, offering more than just damage to your allies. However, there are two things we must consider on the other side of the coin. For starters, you lose a considerable amount of damage late game. Liandry's synergizes super well with Zyra, and not building it will hurt your DPS throughout the game. Additionally, you become completely team reliant, only being able to support what they want to do. A utility build is like a multiplier to your team's usefulness. Even if you amplify them by 1000%, 1000 times 0 is still 0. And there you go, this is a small guide on how to play Tank Zyra. Will you be giving it a try?